Hello and welcome to PC24 RETV. I'm your host Paul Chima. Today is the second annual National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. On this day, we recognize the ongoing impact and trauma of Canada's residential and day school system on First Nations, Inuit, and Métis, and remember those who are lost, their families, and survivors. Today is also Orange Shirt Day, a day inspired by the story of Phyllis Webstad, one of thousands of indigenous children who was forcibly taken from her home to a residential school. There she was stripped of her language, culture, and even her name in an effort to assimilate her into white Canadian society. Generations of children like Phyllis endured the residential and day school system that operated for over 100 years until the last school closed in 2000. Recently, thousands of graves at former residential schools have been found, and more are continually being discovered. It is vital that we recognize and acknowledge the intergenerational trauma of indigenous people caused by acts of genocide such as these by the government and the church. Reconciliation is the responsibility of every Canadian, but it is only possible after acknowledging the difficult truth that First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities have always known. Today, we honor the bravery and courage of residential school survivors, their families, and their communities. We acknowledge the trauma and abuse inflicted on generations of indigenous peoples and commit to working together to heal and build a better future. Every child matters. No one should be stripped of their identity, culture, name, things they love. We all should coexist, and we should rebuild and strengthen our bridge with these indigenous communities who had and who are continually playing an important role in Canadian society. This is not a celebration. Remember, this is just a remembrance. Please remember and pledge not to do any atrocities on any individual and respect the fact that every child matters. Thank you very much. God bless you.